Hi, welcome to First Issue Club. We're your weekly comic book podcast. We're just like Sue Storm. We love a good read. FIC Club Podcast. This episode's going really fast.
Hey,
Nice.
well done.
This is the fast version of First Issue Club.
Mm-hmm.
Be prepared.
Yep. We are talking at 2 times speed.
That's right. So
So-
you slow us down one.
Right.
If you want to hear this at normal pace. Otherwise, we just hit
Enjoy.
some surge.
We dabbed on some Surge.
That's right.
Did a couple lines of Surge, and we're good to go.
Do you remember those commercials?
For Surge?
Yeah.
They overdid it.
Uh-huh.
And they also oversold what the soda would do to you.
Yeah, they
physically.
kind of did. I thought it would turn me into a maniac.
As a youth who loved soda and drank Surge, thinking that it was going to be green cocaine entering my body in liquid form, let down. Severely let down.
Yeah, big time.
You know what drink did not oversell itself? Four Loko.
Yeah, that was messed up.
That was kids. You don't even know what the effects of unregulated Four Loko did to a generation.
That'll turn the sweetest person into a jerk.
An absolute monster.
You know what drink we used to make when I was a kid? We would take Warhead's candy
Oh,
and put it in soda. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Until all the sour
Yeah?
fell off of it, and then we would drink that.
Disgusting.
It was disgusting.
It was sour
horrible.
soda,
Yeah, well, I don't.
or
yeah,
like what was? I'm trying to.
to make
grasp-
the soda have more sugar in it, Greg. That
That's
was the whole point.
vile.
Yeah.
Just put more sugar. Like get actual granulated sugar and just put it in
Yeah,
there.
but
at
we
that
thought
point.
we were cool because we were mixing Warheads with soda.
That's like putting Pop Rocks in your mouth and drinking a soda.
That's correct.
Do you guys drink warm soda at all? Or not warm, I guess room temperature?
sure.
Yeah.
Could not be me.
Yeah.
You like it cold?
I as cold as the Coors Light can.
It has to be, my wife has to have it cold. I do not care.
It when a cold soda hits my throat, something happens and my mouth says, "Get it out." It's too cold to go down the throat. Get it out.
It is one of those things where, like, the colder beer is, it's often easier to drink, especially like your light beers that are like maybe a little harder to
Right.
get beyond the taste.
Mm-hmm.
But soda, for some reason, easier to drink room temp.
Same. I
I-
believe that
Goes down a
wholeheartedly.
lot simpler.
Gotta have it cold.
This may be the hottest take we ever have on
Yeah,
this show.
Very polarizing.
Discussion between cold soda, hot soda.
But if you want a beverage that goes down perfect every time, no matter what,
No matter temp.
you could put it on the stove and boil it to 180 degrees and it's still going to taste great.
The views held by Michael D. are not of First Issue Club or Boulevard Brewing Company. We advise you please not to drink boiling hot Space Camper IPA. Yum yum, give me some at room temperature or less. Down to my tum tum.
Beautiful IPA from Boulevard, and they've got a whole family of varieties of the Space Camper beer. So there's a different taste of hop for everybody. Cheers, get you some.
Have you guys ever done any cooking with Space Camper? I was thinking about this last time we recorded.
Like grilling while drinking one?
No,
That
like,
I've certainly done.
Yes.
like
of course.
doing beer can chicken with like an IPA.
Oh, no, I have not.
I haven't either, but it's something I would like to
I
explore.
was almost thinking of like, you know how some people have like use wine to cook?
Yeah.
I thought you were like, you guys ever made like chili and then poured in a Space Camper IPA?
I put beer in chili all the time.
Do you really?
Of course. Yeah.
Interesting.
You know what? One thing I did with beer that I thought was going to be the dumbest thing in the world? I had a bowl of Cheerios, filled it with beer instead of milk,
Beerios.
had Beerios. It's fantastic.
Uh-huh. We used to do
When you're hungover, it's fantastic.
God.
we used to do Line and Kugel and Fruit Loops.
It is insane how the dairy world has cornered the cereal market. You can use any liquid.
It's true. Hot tip, Mike.
You can use water, orange juice, wine,
Keep naming liquids.
creek water.
Mercury?
You're is it if it's liquid? If you're not talking about the planet. Why did we decide that milk was the best choice?
Because it's good for your bones.
No, it's not.
Sure it is. It's got vitamin D.
After a certain age, it's not.
Yeah, I think the dairy industry sold us a lie that cereal was just something to make milk more palatable.
Are you not a milk boy?
Milk was so important.
I love almond milk. Cow's milk it doesn't do anything good for your body.
It's got vitamin D. Vitamin D is good for your bones.
So does the sun. A lot of things have vitamin D in it now, that's all I'm saying.
We weren't meant to drink milk our entire lives.
No, I know. I enjoy a milk, though.
Yeah, same.
Moving on.
Now we're against you, Greg.
Yeah, this is first milk club.
You guys like room temp milk?
Hey, what's the deal? What's the deal with cold milk? People are turning off the podcast right now.
I
They
love
said-
a hot boiling milk.
I said, I've had enough. I've been with them for over 380 episodes. I cannot do it anymore. They've been talking about milk for 4 minutes now.
Why? This is First Liquids Club, right?
God. Somebody better see Superman right the fuck now.
Let's move into our comic book news segment. Does anyone have anything top of mind?
We talked about it a little bit on the Patreon about
We
how
did.
Godzilla is
Having a damn moment.
is infiltrating almost every comic book that you know. And I think we all agreed that we're here for it.
Yeah.
The world is better for more Godzilla comics.
I truly am excited for the Kaiju verse that IDW is coming out with. They're adding on to the official Godzilla mythos,
Right.
courtesy of an agreement with Toho Studios. I talked a little bit about they're doing 3 books, like Past, Present, Future of Godzilla, and the future one has to do with a human hybrid, a human kaiju hybrid.
Ew.
I think. What?
Do you think Godzilla is a T-Rex Pitbull hybrid? He kind of looks like a puppy, doesn't he?
Godzilla?
No, Godzilla is, I think, canonically a mutated iguana.
Iguana. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Someone
I-
flushed it in the toilet.
I think especially Godzilla -1 has a puppy dog face.
He has that
Sure.
box
Yes.
nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a blue nose.
What?
Well, it's like
Is that a type of dog?
Blue and red are how they decipher pit bulls.
Oh, I didn't
Like,
realize
yeah,
that.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Learn something new every day besides milk on
How
First
about
Issue
that?
Club.
Does Godzilla drink milk? That was a joke. We're not answering
No.
that question.
I don't think so. Even would you feed an iguana milk?
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Okay, moving on. It is funny how the Godzilla Kaiju hybrid mix is like kind of what Jurassic Park was going to do with their 3rd movie.
And what they're gonna do with this next movie?
Well, it's not a human one though, right? For the
True.
new, it's like they've created their own dinosaur now.
Yeah.
And it's like going to be a horror flick, which is very fun. I mean, I'm excited for this new Jurassic Park movie,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you guys have seen the concept art for the
Oh, big time.
dino human hybrid that was supposed to be in Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Jurassic Park
disgusting.
3. It was horrific.
Yeah.
It made me kind of sad that we didn't get to see it.
I know, right?
So,
Terrible.
Just imagine the tone of the first one.
Yeah, and then that
and
third
then
one.
changing it into some like weird
Just like,
body horror
"Oh!"
movie for the sequel.
Yeah. So
Yeet.
sick.
So
Yuck.
I mean, it would have been a cool movie divorced from the idea of the first one. It's just so tonally different.
But the idea is that you're playing with God, regardless,
Yes,
right? Like
right.
that's the underlying.
I think easier to massage one idea to the next in book form.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the,
'Cause
the
Michael-
aspirational like vibe and score of Jurassic Park like does not leave you thinking the next one is going to be some person.
Yeah, imagine the John
Raptor
Williams
mutant.
score over kill me. And they were gonna turn them into soldiers too. That's the worst part.
Yeah. Which I feel like they kind of played with that
in the second one.
Well, I wasn't going to say the second one, in Jurassic World, which was what? Is that the 4th one?
Yes.
When where Chris Pratt is like training
The
Oh,
raptor.
the
raptors.
Raptors, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then
and then Vincent D'Onofrio were like the second he walks on screen you're like this guy's getting eaten.
Yeah. This guy's going to be raptor food so quick.
They like telegraphed that like the moment he was in frame.
Well, yeah, because he's like,
They cut to the scene of the raptors like drawing on his body of just like, oh, here's where the chops are
licks
and
his
where the
lips.
meat lock.
anytime anybody in those movies is like, how can we use the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
they're getting eaten.
Target.
Little raptors with like bibs on, like sharpening his forks and knives, just like
D'Onofrio's
yeah.
face on their bib.
Yeah. Well, speaking of death, this summer it will be the death of the Silver Surfer
No shit.
with Greg Pak and Samit Kumar. The limited series features a powerful new enemy for Norrin Rad and the Fantastic Four. It explores the ancient secrets of the Silver Surfer's past with a surprising link to Galactus.
That's exciting.
Okay.
I love Greg Pak writing Silver Surfer is really good.
I sometimes when I see as a comic book fan, you get tricked, and it's like muscle memory. And whenever Greg shows up in comics, I get hesitant because if it's followed by Pac, I'm happy.
Sure.
But if it's followed by Land, I'm not
Oh
happy.
yeah.
So there's like that knee-jerk reaction, just like Greg who? Oh God, thank God, it's Greg Pac.
Well, Pac Rat.
Pac.
That's what his fans call themselves. You can't, it's not Pac Rat. It's Pac
Or
Rat.
Pac Rocks.
Pop rock.
What kind of music do you like? Pac rock. Yeah, it should be cool. I mean, I think it's gonna be aligned pretty closely with the Fantastic Four movie coming out.
Oh, sure.
So
Yeah.
this may be kind of a weird way they're trying to get people streamlined into thinking, okay, we're gonna focus on one Silver Surfer going forward, and it's gonna be this one.
We need to have, just like how Vegas lets you gamble on like reality TV outcomes and not even like fictional TV show ending, like the Game of Thrones you could like bet on. We need to do like how long will the death last?
Oh sure.
We need to make our own betting app for
That
comic books.
if you can nail them, like, is it like 3 months or is it the same issue? Like,
I think that'd be like
yeah.
an
In
over-under
in
situation. Yeah.
solicits, they've said he's gonna die, and does it only actually last? Like, he's reborn in the singular issue. I remember Fantastic Four when I was in college was gonna kill Sue Storm, and they built up to this
And they only killed her spirit.
forever and ever and ever, and then you found out that their nanny was
Named.
a Sue Storm from the future. And that Sue Storm sacrifices herself so that the modern day Sue Storm could live. And you were just like,
Boo.
like nothing changed.
Boo. You could do.
This was the storyline, which was really cool, where they had Galactus like powering the Baxter Building and like a lot of New York. Like he was like under New York, and they had like
Things plugged into him.
stuff plugged into him. Yeah, he was like a auxiliary power grid.
He's just down there, just like, just happy to help. Getting kind of hungry down here.
Imagine the infrastructure you'd need to bury Galactus.
Well, you've already said that the power cosmic can.
That's true.
Change
Yeah,
his
yeah.
size.
Which is something, I didn't know. Take away my Galactus fan card.
Don't worry, it was never given to you.
I'm not a Galactus rot.
Galactus Stan. I had some. For the betting thing, it'd be like a fun parlay, just to be like, okay, 2025's coming up. You can bet on 3 superheroes that are gonna die
Yes.
this year,
Yeah.
and like each one has their own, wager on it. I think that'd be. God, did we just create something?
Yeah.
Speaking of new apps that got created, new app called Sweet coming out from one of the makers of Omnibus.
Cool.
It's going to be like its own hub where you can like if you're like marketing a comic book, you can go there to like showcase your stuff. You can buy digital comics. Image Comics has already announced that they're going to be partnering with Sweet. So that's kind of cool. So we have another, person trying to make
Get
it
back-
more.
Yeah.
And from what I've read, it's not going to be a solely like digital reader. Like it's supposed to be like kind of like a new corner of the internet or a new app to go to kind of be all comic books inclusive. with whether it be marketing or showcasing your book or learning about new books or reading digital comics. They wanted to create a hub
it's
where
more of a
everyone
community.
goes to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Cool.
Definitely need that more in the community. And it's tough just to rely on like social media because you have Twitter, you have Facebook, Instagram, and it just seems so segmented. And with each app, you have your own sentiments of the comic book community and just like different characters. So it is really splintered.
Yeah.
And so I think we just need to like unify under just something. So maybe this sweet app can figure it out and bring us all back together again. Damn it.
I was thinking about Omnibus the other day because as time goes on, the more people are reacting to billionaires, and there's been more of an exodus of Amazon and Prime memberships over like the past couple months. And I'm like, man, if you'd shifted Omnibus a little bit to maybe be around during more of this shift away from people taking, maybe even like a moral stance against Amazon versus like, I didn't like the product necessarily, that they would have at least lasted a little longer.
Yeah. Timing is everything, and if everyone had a crystal ball, things would be different. But yeah. So fingers crossed that this sweet app can do some good.
Hell yeah.
How about it?
Andy, you had more notes. Did you not?
Those are all from the books that I read.
Did you guys see anything about this Wonder Woman game getting canceled?
I
Yeah,
did.
apparently Gail Simone was like a
Consultant
on it.
said it was really cool.
Yeah.
But
fucking
I guess they'd already put $100 million into it and still had tons of work to do. So
Zaslav just makes the worst decisions.
yeah, they tax write off as much stuff as they can.
The
I guess thinking about all those people, hope they find jobs. Like that sucks. They shuttered like three different studios.
Yeah.
That's a drag.
And one of the other big stories that came out of there, not to like video game it out, but that Nemesis system that they used for those Middle Earth games, it's like an entire way of building a video game that they have locked behind copyright till 2036.
Oh, wow.
And like nobody can use that system. And now these studios that were building those games don't even exist.
Yeah.
It's so shitty.
Yeah.
It sucks.
We're in an era now where if you're spending $60 or $70 for a video game, the expectation is that you're going to be able to play it for like 100 hours, right? And like those kind of games take years and years to make and cost a ton of money. So I don't know. Are expectations for games too high now? Does there need to be a different threshold of cost for different types of games?
Just play indie games. Balatro was a single guy.
Yeah, and I've been playing it for 4 hours every day.
But I'm somebody who really gravitates towards the like
big blockbuster,
major blockbuster games, and it's like all I play. And I wonder how many video game fans are people like me who it's like I'm buying Zelda, Mario, and then a handful of other PlayStation titles that are like like Final Fantasy
or Call of Duty and Madden.
Yeah, right. You've got your different corners of people that's like that's all I play. There's the people who I have friends who buy the like NHL 2K sort of games and every single year, and that's like the only video game they play.
Yep.
Are you talking about my brother?
Maybe.
I just think I think there's a disconnect with like $60, $80 for a video game is a decent price. In my mind, it's because you're gonna get 100 hours out of that game.
It better be a whole entire fucking ass game.
Okay.
I better not be able to have to pay for DLC to finish the story or
if I'm paying $80 for a game, microtransactions are not happening.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like the Ghost of Tsushima game. It's like $60-$70. You can play that game for like 400 hours.
Yeah.
And it is an incredible game. Like every day of the week I will pay $80 for that game.
Are you like you're continually paying an $80 per day subscription
every
fee?
Monday it's $80. I'm just like, well, worth it.
Are you honorable or dishonorable?
In that game?
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I haven't gotten to that part.
Oh, okay.
So far, I'm cool.
You're good.
I'm a good guy.
I played Complete Samurai because all I wanted to do...
Sneak around.
No, all I wanted to do was
Yeah.
walk up to the camp and be like, fight me!
Come get me, baby.
That's but see, I like the assassin part.
Yeah.
I like sneaking up and being quiet. And,
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff's cool, but I just
Yeah.
wanted to directly face every enemy and slice them down.
Speaking of that game, I did just unlock where you could like do the standoff part, but it's the combo where you do one and then another one comes out. You can like just basically kill the whole camp with hitting R2 or whatever, and that's the sweetest part of the game.
Yeah.
But in any case, back to like comic book stuff.
Ugh.
I'm glad that Marvel has things like Rivals that have like done really well, or like the Spider-Man games that have done really well, so they can take risks on these things like the Guardians of the Galaxy game, or like
Which was very cool.
the Avengers game, which a lot of times
was
you
not
think
very
about
good.
the amount of money that it takes to make those things, and then you're just like, well, I guess we're never going to make any Marvel video games ever again.
Man, that Avengers
you know what
game,
I mean?
What a bummer.
But they have these other huge successes that buoy these like kind of disappointments that mean you're going to continue to make risks and be like highly rewarded because of that as a fan and as a production company.
Yeah, the Wolverine and Blade games got a lot of high hopes for those.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolverine is coming out next year.
Either late this year or early next year, I heard.
Did you guys see that Marvel canceled their Marvel Insiders program?
I got that email. Yeah.
Basically, Marvel's Insiders started in 2016. It's like a reward program you would get for buying things. And with those reward points, you could either buy more digital comics or... I don't even know if you could buy any physical...
They had like physical rewards.
Okay. In any case...
It's kind of like
if you
Nintendo points, though, where the physical reward stuff was so many points and it like wasn't really worth...
millions of them.
It wasn't
to get
really
a
worth
hoodie.
your time to get like a keychain.
Well,
or,
but it's easier to get Marvel Insider points than it was Nintendo, because you only got Nintendo points by buying games. Like, you can buy comics way easier and stuff like that. But, yeah, so if you have any Marvel Insider points, maybe use them now, because you only have like a few more weeks before they shut everything down.
Yeah.
And additionally, Dark Horse has shuttered Dark Horse Digital.
Yeah. That's
So you can't buy digital
I
comics.
tried to buy, what's it called today? Jumpscare today, and I was
Dark
like,
Horse was like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, I was like, what? There's like absolutely nothing
We've been
here.
closed for a week.
It's one of the like top results for like digital. If you just search like where to buy digital comics, like Dark Horse is one of the like more popular
Yeah.
websites for it. So I was surprised to see it
because
go.
it was
Not
like
anymore.
pretty streamlined and like easy, no frills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turns out people like frills.
Well, they're just
It
not
turns out people like print comics if they're going to pay full price for a comic book.
true. Yeah.
What other comic book news did I have? Last week, did we talk about the Chip Zdarsky Captain America stuff?
No, but I'm stoked about it.
We did.
You and I did.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, on the Patreon, though.
I'm trying to think of anything else.
Because we did the Matthew Rosenberg interview.
Marvel DC crossover.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that came out.
Yeah.
Let's get into that, actually, because I'm not thrilled.
You're not thrilled.
I'm not
I don't
thrilled.
think it's 2 one-shots.
It's 2 one-shots.
If I understand correctly.
Yes.
Let's back up here. Comics Pro was last weekend. CB Cebulski announced that there is going to be another Marvel DC crossover happening. It's 2 one-shots, like we just mentioned, coming out later this year, I want to say.
This summer, I think.
People immediately lost their ever-loving minds. And I have to remind everyone that we've been through this a few times, and every time we've done this, hasn't been great. The George Perez one was maybe the best. All the amalgam stuff was terrible.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm probably going to say the same thing that you are, in that it doesn't need to be good. It's like a campy sideshow, and that's why it's fun. Like, to me, like when I look back on those covers, or if I run into one of them in the wild,
Right.
I'm like, I'm buying this. Hell yeah, $1 for like Lobo the Duck. Hell yeah. Like,
Oh, you
that's
got it
just-
for $1?
It's just funny.
the amalgam stuff came out of the low point of comics history.
Yes.
Financially, the low point.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally was a cash grab.
And a successful one.
That being said, both of the Marvel versus DC and DC versus Marvel and JLA Avengers
Yes.
were good.
Okay.
Legitimately good.
I like it more as a schlocky gimmick.
You like the amalgam stuff
You like
better
the
than
you
the
like the
crossover
dirtiness of
I
it.
would one of the things they threw out as like a joke during the panel was like, we got to get Batmite with the Punisher.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's kind of more along the lines of what interests me about this like weird thing.
This is
just
your
doing something stupid that is like fun. Like,
Are we in Bizarro World?
This is your toddlers and tiaras like Fire Island stuff.
Yeah, this is like you're saying. This is all promotional fodder. So let's like not pretend like it's more than it is.
I'm not expecting Grant Morrison to get in here and like save everything.
Hold on.
I just don't think there's a world wherein you mash these things together for such a small number of issues that you can actually create anything that you're just like, damn, dude. Oh my God.
I'm not. I don't want that though. I want something that's just like, oh, that was worth my time.
Yeah, and I think the best bang for your buck for a couple one-shots is to go really absurdist with it.
And I agree, but I don't want it to be like I totally co-sign absurdist crossovers. That's exactly what I want. I don't know if Marvel and DC are brave enough to do that and are just going to give us some like kind of shitty story and sell 500 variants of 2 books.
They're going to be anthology books, right?
I don't know that.
Don't you think? I mean, I'm just making assumptions. They're going to be anthology books with a bunch of mini
with 2
stories in
one-shots, you have like that's even like worse.
Well, and here's another thing I don't know. Is it going
Who's
to be
Superman?
Is it going to be one? Could someone explain to me?
Why have we never seen Clark Kent and Superman in the same goddamn room?
They could be the same book, but one of them is called DC/Marvel, and the other one's called Marvel/DC.
Yeah.
And they're both printing the same thing.
No.
I think we can agree that Marvel gets a
They're
book and DC gets a
distinctly
book.
separate
They're
two books that are printed.
Because that's the same format they did with the other crossovers, where half of the books were Avengers/JLA, and the other half were JLA Avengers.
Okay.
I think I know what the books are. One is Lobo kills the Marvel Universe, and the other one is Deadpool kills the DC Universe.
See, that's funny to me.
You're welcome, CB and Jim Lee.
Yeah.
And we're done
wipe
here.
your hands clean.
They should credit them as Seeley, right?
Yes.
Or Jim Lee Cebulski.
So let's do a quick over-under here. We're getting 2 books.
Yeah.
Let's talk variants to this huge event,
Yeah.
both from Marvel and from DC. I'm thinking no less than 50 for each. One shot.
50 covers for each comic.
Yes.
That's too many.
I agree.
I mean, we all agree that's too many. It's like the question is, how many are they going to make? 'Cause sometimes they make too many.
Let's say maybe including retailer and
incentives and things like that. Yeah. So you're gonna have like a virgin version of every and a trade version of every
And
retailer.
let's
incentive.
take that out of the equation. But it's
Okay.
just like you can't convince me that any comic book that can afford it will try to get their own
Yeah. Cover
retailer
for this.
incentive variant. Some maybe even try to get 2 different ones. Like, I feel like this is going to just take over,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are gonna get burned.
I'll say 30
30 total.
across each. 30
I need a
each.
pen. I need a pen.
There's a
Please,
my God. You definitely could have reached that yourself.
I know. I got paper.
Okay.
I came prepared. Okay, so Mike D says 30. Andrew,
That's an M.
hey, don't you fucking worry about it. I know what my shorthand is.
All right, listen. Follow my thinking on this.
Okay.
DC lately has actually been really good about their variants.
That's very true. DC
They'll
is a
do-
lot softer on.
They'll do one per book.
Yeah.
If it's a major Batman, they'll do 4 or 5.
Yep.
DC doing good.
So what I think is, I think they'll do A, B, C, D variants for each book. Probably do like Dan Hipp is going to do a Marvel and Scotty Young is going to do a DC.
I love that.
That's
idea.
a
You know what I mean?
fantastic
I
idea,
love
though.
that idea.
Holy shit.
They're gonna take-
Andy, that's a brilliant.
They're going to take
Yeah.
their Marvel people and have them do DC. They're going to take DC people and have them do Marvel.
That's
oh
great.
my god, I
That's
love
great.
that.
They'll do 4 or 5 of those as regular covers, variants you can get. And then what I think they're going to do is like a 1 in 25, a 1 in 50, a 1 in 100, and then I think they'll do 1,000, 2,000. So I think there's probably only going to be 10 or 15 covers for each book, but they're going to go hard in the paint on the ratios.
Okay, but we also talked about retailer incentives though.
True.
Which DC does do.
True. So
I'm still sitting pretty at 50 each.
I think there's only going to be, what'd you say, 30?
I said
I'll say
30.
25.
25.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
Close margin between us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically did the Price is Right thing and said
I know.
$401.
But I really think DC will
If we're
talk
all
Marvel off the edge.
If we're all over, does everyone lose, or does Andy get it?
If we're all over, they only do one cover for each one.
If we're all over, then nobody,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Wow.
DC, Marvel.
This is Price is Right rules.
Okay. All right, and so
And that's for each book, right?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that idea, Andy, of just like them
Verbal
switching
handshake.
their like house.
Yeah, Peach Momoko
Style.
does DC.
Dan Mora does Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be so fun. Just call them like DC variants over
Yeah.
at Marvel. Anyway, okay.
That's my thought.
And also, I would like to just kind of clarify: this is not going to be amalgam.
Correct.
Amalgam in the DC.
No, we don't know that.
Marvel cross. They would have said amalgam.
You think so?
And it would have
That's
been
what you
way
lead
more
with.
than 2.
That's what you lead with, because amalgam has its own different fans than DC Marvel crossover.
Okay.
Amalgam's technically not even a crossover. It's like it's a blending.
Yeah.
It's its own.
It's its own company.
Yeah, it's its own publisher.
They might open the door for more amalgam.
I think if they did it,
I hope not.
I think if they did it again, people would go nuts for it.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, because we've grown up and we have our own money now, and we can buy more dumb shit. And they kind of have already done it with like the Infinity Gauntlet stuff they did. They just did it with their own Marvel in-house characters.
Yeah.
They combined like Iron Man and
Yeah, there was Infinity Warps.
yeah, Infinity Warps.
I don't remember that at all.
Arachnite was Moon Knight and Spider-Man. Iron Hammer was Thor and Iron Man.
Oh.
It happened close to the pandemic.
Strange Supreme, Soldier Supreme.
What was that Marvel thing where they basically did Justice League? Was it Heroes Reborn or something?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, Heroes Reborn is
And there was like a Wonder Woman character that was like very clearly a rip.
so what's the something Supreme?
Soldier Supreme.
Soldier Supreme is like the Superman stand-in.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the guy that plays Reacher on the Amazon show,
Alan Richardson.
Alan Richardson, should
Yeah.
be Soldier Supreme.
Totally.
I felt like somebody like CB Cebulski at this press thing at Comics Pro made an allusion to that there was an obvious crossover that's like maybe newer characters that are like, oh, they're such a great comp for each other that we're going to be in this. But nothing comes to mind where I'm like, newer character that is like a no duh. Like, do you think about characters that were created in the last 10 years that are really famous now? Like a
Punchline's the only one I can think of.
Punchline, or on the Marvel side, Kamala Khan,
Miles
or
Morales.
Moon Girl.
Yeah, any of the younger characters.
Yeah, Miles
essentially.
Morales is another like really great one. But like the
Deadpool.
Spider-Man,
Spider-Gwen.
Oh yeah.
the Spider-Man spin-off thing they kind of did at DC. It was called like Sideways. Like that that thing never really took off. But I mean, like
Age of New Heroes or something.
Let's say that was popular, then you'd be like, oh, no brainer, we got to get Sideways and Peter Parker together, or we got to get
Damage in the Hulk.
Damage in the Hulk.
That's what I'm talking about.
Totally.
And they did like the Terrifics, which was like their Fantastic Four.
I mean, Terrifics and Fantastic, like getting Mr. Terrific and Mr. Fantastic together sounds really
totally
fun.
rad.
I think okay. Can they have us write this?
Terrifically Fantastic, issue 1.
Fantastic
Terrific, for sure, is the book. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we have those little notes down. So check back with us when it happens.
Perfect.
Fair enough. Let's talk first issues and deliver on the conceit of the podcast.
Finally.
We made a lot of promises 20 minutes ago, and now it's time to follow through.
That's right.
I'll go first.
Yay!
Because nobody else is volunteering.
I will note, I didn't get a chance to read any comic books this week, so I will be a listener IRL.
Okay. Fair game.
Did you end up reading Red Hulk?
I did.
Okay, good. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
So let's share. I'll go Jumpscare, and then you can do Red Hulk, and then I'll do the rest of mine. So I read Jumpscare on Dark Horse by Cullen Bunn and Danny Luckert. For anyone who doesn't know, this is inside Cullen Bunn's Beyond Mortal universe. And that was a Kickstarter book that he did where superheroes were fighting like H.P. Lovecraft Cthulhu monsters. Where the monsters were invading Earth and the superheroes had to fight them. I don't think that ever got a wide release.
I don't recall it.
That's what I thought was interesting, because this book is out in Dark Horse and shares a universe with that book that never got a wide release. So that had a question mark on it for me.
Okay.
Granted, I didn't look into it. I didn't look to see if Beyond Mortal, because I backed it on Kickstarter, and it was really good.
Yeah.
I was really excited about it.
Speaking of Kickstarter books, one thing that I don't think either of us read this week was Pop Score or something like that, or
Pop
Scars. Is that what it was called? That is a Jimmy Palmiotti kickstarted comic book about identical twins that own like this universe's comp for Pepsi and Coca-Cola.
Yes.
And there's like all this espionage to like take the other one down. It sounded like a really fun comic, but sometimes we don't cover stuff that comes out via like reprint or re-release.
I think that's the second volume too.
Yeah.
Because
is it okay?
Last Planet Pop Scars Volume 1 came out, or whatever it's
I don't
called.
think it's not Pop Scars, but it's something like that.
Because Adam Hughes did the cover for it.
Yeah.
And it was like a naked woman on like a brick wall that was like a Coke advertisement.
Hell yeah.
And people lost their fucking minds over it.
Dan Panosian cover this time around.
He's going to be at Planet.
That is killer. I'd love to get my hands on.
I'd love to get the Absolute Wonder Woman variant that he did.
That rips.
It's the best one.
It's too expensive for that level of. It's like a 1 in 25 or something. I don't want to pay like $40 for it.
Right. Still.
Maybe if he has some that it's like you pay $40 and he'll sign it for you.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Sorry. The first of many interruptions, Andy.
So Jumpscare is... No, it's fine. Good interruption. I would equate this character to a Harley Quinn style. It's that kind of more lighthearted superhero book. Her power set, though, is the most interesting part. She has the power of like basically every killer from every horror movie.
To wait around the corner.
I mean,
and jump at you.
So she can teleport silently. That's one of her powers.
Oh.
And then she can also manifest any weapon from a horror movie she's ever seen.
She can manifest destiny.
That's funny.
So she can like pull a chainsaw out of nothing or like a pitchfork or whatever.
Yeah.
And she uses that power to kind of like Batman protect the streets from the remnants of these elder, monsters that have invaded this universe. So that's sort of the setup, but then the actual story is that she grew up in like a Christian household that was very conservative, and she's like the horror movie person, so she didn't really fit in. And now that she has these superpowers, her parents, who are like congresspeople or the president or something, call her and say that her goody two-shoes sister has been like kidnapped or disappeared, and they're asking her to find her.
Okay.
So there's some sort of a mystery going on, but
it's a lot to chew on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's
A
a
lot
lot.
of threads.
But I'll say this. I mean, it's Cullen Bunn writing.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be good. It's very fun because it's got that horror movie twist to it.
Yep.
The character is very lighthearted. The story doesn't like require a lot of this like knowledge. You can pick up on some of this stuff. And you don't need to know anything about the Beyond Mortal universe to enjoy this book.
I buy nearly everything Cullen Bunn writes, so I've pre-ordered this. I generally enjoy everything that he writes. Every once in a while, he has a series that I'm like completely gaga for.
Sure.
So he's just like an easy pickup for me.
Totally.
I loved, what was it, Bone Parish?
Bone
Parish
Parish.
is so
That
Yeah.
he wrote. That book ripped.
Didn't he do? He also did Harrow County, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That
Sixth
comic was
Gun.
awesome. Sixth
Sixth
Gun was
Gun.
great.
Ghost lore.
Ghost Lore is very cool.
Yep.
Yeah. That's probably the most recent one that I was like, this rips.
Yeah.
We could spend the next 45 minutes just naming
I mean,
books
naming
truly.
Cullen
and
Bunn.
going, oh, God, that was so good.
If you guys could take a power from a famous movie villain, can you think of one that you're like,
Freddy Krueger Dream Kill.
I want this I want this weapon or power set. You just kill somebody while they're asleep.
Freddy Krueger Dream Kill.
Okay, great.
Because it's like, it's versatile. You
Yeah.
get to create
Yeah. You can
this like
enter
huge world inside their dreams and then just think of creative ways to kill them.
as long as they fall asleep, they're your prey.
But I would be woke Freddy Krueger, and I would be like, I would make ways to make their life better. I would institute like mental health check-ins, like tell them to drink more water, take structured breaks, maybe meditate.
I want to be.
What's your catchphrase instead of like, "Hey, bitch"?
You're powerful, bitch. You contain multitudes, bitch.
You're a whole human being in your own right.
slay, bitch? It's Britney, bitch.
There's no such thing as critical race theory, bitch. Namaste, bitch. Something like that.
Great.
Something along those lines. Something very liberal.
I'd be long legs. I'd create haunted dolls of people.
Happy birthday.
It's your birthday.
I just watched like reviews of that.
Have you
on
not
YouTube.
seen it?
Fuck no.
Oh my god,
It's good.
You
No.
have to see
Dude,
it.
Oz
It's
Perkins.
not even that scary.
I know it's not, but I've seen enough of it online where I'm just like, yeah, I get it.
okay.
I get what this is.
I mean, I went into it not really knowing. Nicolas Cage's name is in the opening credits, but it kind of takes you a minute to be like, "Oh, that's Nicolas Cage." It's so
Totally unrecognizable.
wild.
Yeah,
It's
I've
so
seen pictures
wild.
where you're like, "Oof." And then I watched the breakdown of just like all the time Satan shows up in the movie, and you're like, "Oh shit, that's
So
funny."
good.
I really liked it.
I would,
Or I would have a Malignant.
you would have a Malignant. Sure.
You wouldn't be It Follows.
I'm already a twin.
Yeah.
I feel like they could do a Malignant.
Oh man, can't you change mine the basket case?
Yeah.
Just a little
yeah.
deformed thing inside a
You
basket.
get a guy to follow you.
Yeah, or a puppet, like from the Puppet Master.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, the Puppet Master is actually a pretty good one. I would be a sexy demon from Hellraiser,
Oh yeah.
and every
With your
time,
neck peeled open.
every time we do the podcast, you guys have to solve that Rubik's cube and summon
to
me.
make you go away. Mm. I want to be the guy that has like the sunglasses in Hellraiser.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like the big guy that had like chains and stuff all over him.
Oh yeah, what Jelly Belly or Jelly Bean or something
One
they
of
call
those.
him?
I would be the CD head guy from the terrible 2000s one. The new age one.
God,
They call me CD-ROM.
there is not a movie with worse history sequels wise than Hellraiser.
Have you not watched Land Before Time?
They're so bad. Land Before Time is a quantity over quality thing for sure. Okay, I read the new Red Hulk, which
I'm excited about this.
is a big part of the One World Under Doom Marvel event.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna more or less spoil this book, but there's not a lot of it's not like a big cliffhanger spoiler thing.
Who's writing it?
That's a great question. I don't have my phone.
I'll look it up.
Red Hulk.
Yeah, the Red Hulk is writing it. This comic starts with kind of like an action movie feeling Mission Impossible scene, wherein you're seeing Thunderbolt Ross,
Benjamin Percy.
Benjamin Percy,
And Jeff Shaw's doing the art.
That's
So
right.
yeah.
Great team. Where you see Thunderbolt Ross on a plane, and he goes into the bathroom.
Wait, where's this comic going? Oh, Frank.
Hulks out and explodes this plane over a foreign country in order to create civil unrest, to say it was near a military base, and we can say as a country that this country shot down this passenger plane with 400 people on
It's
it.
a false flag.
And
Scarecrow argument.
so you watch this
Spirit of 1776.
unveil, and then it turns out that this is all a story that or a scenario that Thunderbolt Ross is pitching to Doctor Doom. He's been imprisoned along with several other people with really particular skill sets that he's kind of created as this one world under Doom. Now Doom is the world leader, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having a cabinet, he's got influential prisoners, and he's going to each cell and consulting them while he's got them more or less held hostage, right?
Now give me your story.
Which is a really interesting take, right? The prisoners start communicating via Morse code between them, and they start to identify who else is there. Thunderbolt Ross has an inhibitor around his neck, so he can't Hulk out, and he finds Machine Man in a cell.
Holy shit,
next
dude.
to him.
What a callback.
Yeah, and then they hatch a plan to take out this Doom bot that's coming around and checking on them and bringing them food.
Dude, so it's like Great Escape, but with supervillains?
Does anyone need a moist towelette?
So not only is the first half of the book this made up scenario that feels very Mission Impossible, but the second one feels very cool prison escape movie.
Hell yeah.
So two awesome genre books in one great first issue that the only actual hulking out he does is in the last panel before he's let's kick some ass.
Yeah.
So I mean the whole tonality of the comic could very much change. I'd be happy with this Red Hulk series if it was all a Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh yeah,
What's the island one with Nicolas Cage?
The
Rock.
The Rock.
Hell yeah.
If it was one of those kind of comics that was just the whole thing is built around that idea.
I was thinking of Hogan's Heroes.
But I think it's about to turn into something bigger. But
It could be kind of like that.
But great super genre first issue that was such a fun read.
That's awesome.
And this is one that
Is it a one shot? I'm sorry.
no, it's
Okay.
it's obviously not a long ongoing because it's part of this Doom thing.
Yeah.
But it'll at least be a 4-issue miniseries at a minimum. I'm
Nice.
guessing. But this is one where even if you didn't pull it or pick it up, it's one to look out for on just a bargain bin sale or something as time goes on, because it's just a fun standalone issue that you just don't need the rest of the series to have a good time with it.
I feel like there's a lot of like Benjamin Percy 4 or 5 issue miniseries that are like that.
Yeah.
Because he's so good at writing
He really is.
action comic books.
His Wolverine and X-Force comics were like so fun.
Well, he's writing like the Dakin book right now, Helverine.
Oh yeah, the
and,
Wolverine books. Yeah.
and
Predator, right? Or-
all the Predator
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, so fucking good, so good.
Who's doing Alien? He's not doing Alien too, is he?
No,
Is it Shelby?
no. Well, Shalvey was doing it. The Alien Paradiso. I don't know who's writing that right now, but yeah, Declan Shalvey was writing Alien.
Nice.
So good stuff then, Mike D. Red Hulk, do recommend.
Yes. Sorry, I had a mouthful of Space Camper Cosmic IPA.
Yum yum, give me some down my tum tum.
That book gets an A from me.
I also read Mine is a Long Lonesome Grave,
Yes.
out on Oni Press, by Justin Jordan and Chris Sheehan. This is a like revenge redemption story with an Appalachian witchy twist, where a guy gets out of prison after 20 years, and all he wants to do is give this big bag of money to his estranged daughter and leave town. That's all he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
But of course,
Who among us?
the town asshole has to like visit him and tell him that, we don't want you here.
Yeah.
Get out of town. And he's like, I'm trying. But of course, they go after him and they come after his daughter. So he has to like go on the warpath.
Mm-hmm.
And
Daughter can't meet him out of town somewhere.
she doesn't want to leave town. He just wants to leave town.
Dude, just come see me in the town over.
I
They got a Crackle Barrel. I'll
Hey.
give you this bag of money.
if ifs and buts,
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we wouldn't have this comic.
that's what I'm saying. I love Justin Jordan. He was half of the team of The Beauty,
Mm-hmm.
and Beauty fucking ripped.
Yeah.
It was another kind of like crime with a weird, twist to it, sci-fi twist.
I love that comic.
It's so good.
Jeremy Hahn,
Yep.
Go on.
I feel like has said that he is
No, I'm sorry. Justin Jordan did The Spread. Not
spread
the Beauty.
Spread.
with Kyle Strahm.
Kyle
Kyle
Strahm.
Kyle Strahm, Jeremy Hahn.
Yeah.
Similar last name.
Both Kansas City locals.
Yep.
Yep.
Aren't those cool?
Yes.
Greg is looking at some new stuff we have. Those are like matte. I chose matte for that just to see how it looked
Who's
versus
he?
glossy.
He's going to be replacing you.
Oh, great.
Keep it up.
So Mine is a Long Lonesome Grave.
Cool.
It's got a cool like witchy twist where the guy's wife was like a witch and he's up against a team of witches or supernatural practitioners. So he has to use the stuff that he's learned
Yeah.
to, fight them.
Yep.
But also there's guns and, stuff. So
Hell yeah.
it was cool. It was unlike any other book. It kind of read like a Hellboy style,
Oh,
where
okay.
it's got that spooky kind of twist to it, but there's a surly crime guy.
Yep.
Anyway,
Sounds great.
Surly crime guy. Get out of here. Oh, come on.
I also read Let This One Be a Devil, out on Dark Horse,
Please let this one be a devil.
and that's
This
Tinian
was
and
a
Steve
week
Fox.
or two ago. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was not this week, but it's Tinian and Steve Fox with art by Peter Kowalski.
Oh, this is the Jersey Devil Blue Book
This is
comic.
Yeah.
So yes, if everyone remembers, Blue Book had, they call them weird truth something, whatever.
Yeah.
They have backup stories in every issue that was like true stories of people having weird experiences. This is a spin-off book that Tinian's going to be doing expanded versions of those.
Yeah.
And this first one is about the Jersey Devil. It's a split story where a guy in 1905 or something is encountering the Jersey Devil. And then it also tells the story of how the Jersey Devil was born.
It'll be called Doge and it'll rule the world. Jersey Devil, shut the fuck up. What you talking about? Mark my words. My son Elon is going to make it great.
He'll make America great again.
After my orange golem lets him in.
But I mean, if that didn't sell you on it, I don't know what will. It's Tinian
Yeah.
and
Anything
Steve
in
Fox.
the Tinian Blue Book world, I'm fucking in.
Yeah, and
Let's just go.
Yeah, you either like the alien,
You either like it or you don't.
cryptid stories, or you don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Peter Kowalski, who did the art on Where Monsters Lie,
Yeah.
knocks it out of the park again. It was really good. Yeah, like Mike said, if it doesn't get you, you're not going to want it. So
My dad's really into alien TV show documentary sort of things.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about getting him
A book?
Blue Book or something. You ever have like family members who are like, "Oh, like, is there a comic I should read?" And you're just like, no. Like, I know, like you're trying to show interest in my hobby that I have, but you will probably like never read it, or like the format. Like, I think
Yeah.
my dad would really enjoy a TV show of Department of Truth.
yeah,
But I don't think
Having him sit down and
having
read it.
him sit down and read that in the very abstract art style, like I don't think he could read a Martin Simmons comic and keep track of who the characters were page to page. Yeah.
well, the format itself is a hurdle for a lot of people.
Yeah, totally. But Blue Book is simple enough, I think, and kind of
smooth brains.
it kind of reads like an account or a documentary.
Yeah.
totally.
So I think it'd be easier to consume. So I might.
I would give Blue Book to a non-comic person for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So let this
What's
one
so
be a
funny
devil was.
I just got a vision of him like the terminology was correct, but like non-comic book person, it just seems kind of like derogatory, like in a certain connotation. You're like, one of those nons, like those non-readers. Continue.
Do you want me to come up with a slur for them? I don't understand.
Not on this one. Maybe on the Patreon.
And the last book I read was Godzilla Heist.
Oh, okay. I'm
Out on IDW
very
by-
interested in this book.
Van Jensen and Kelsey Ramsey. It's exactly what it says on the box.
They have to steal a Godzilla.
Nope. Godzilla helps a guy rob a bank.
They have to do an Ocean's 11 with a Godzilla.
Nope.
Is he the guy? Is Godzilla the one they fold into the suitcase?
Put him under the world's largest like kitchen cart.
No, Godzilla is the getaway driver.
He's baby driver.
Yeah, he's baby driver. No, so a guy uses these little like micro drones to lure Godzilla to a casino vault.
So Godzilla has no idea. He's like guilty by association.
That is correct.
So in a court of law,
Godzilla is well, not innocent because he does. I mean,
and it's crazy that like casinos even exist in a world where a thing like Godzilla is just stomping around. It might let's say this like is real, right? We exist right now in this universe, and then a Godzilla appears.
I love doing make believe.
The fucking everything stops. School does not exist.
why?
Because there's a giant monster stomping around.
I think you have to keep
You
going
have
with life.
Yeah, society can't stop.
Yeah.
We dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan. Why would we?
Because the atomic bomb
You're trying to
doesn't
tell-
have eyes and can look at me.
You're trying to tell me I'm not supposed to watch episode 9 of Severance on Friday?
Just because of
If
Godzilla?
Godzilla's stomping around Panama?
I don't care if there is a mutated iguana stomping around Europe. I still want my DoorDash to work. I gotta get my Dunkin' Donuts in the morning. I don't know who the fuck I'm supposed to be. Right? No, I think you're both wrong.
You think society just stops?
Yeah, at least for like a week.
And what?
Watches a giant fucking lizard
Just stays
on
at
their
home and keeps the news on?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay,
Same thing
but
would happen if an alien ship came down.
I'm used to staring at a small screen that long. I don't know if I could do a big screen that long.
Sound off, First Issue Club listeners. Let me know how right
Would
I
you
am.
just stop showing up for work?
Yes.
If
Oh,
there was a-
hell yes.
If there was a Godzilla on the other side of the world. This is kind of what I'm asking. Godzilla is in Australia and you live in Kansas City, Missouri.
Exactly what I'm saying.
You know what
The
I would
most
do?
landlocked city.
You know what I'd do? I would probably work from home that week until I knew if that thing could fucking swim.
Could he get up the Missouri River?
Yeah, he probably could, dog. Just he'd like walk up there, knock on your door.
He's scooting on his butt like a dog that's trying to get a little pebble off.
I would make the argument that a Red Dawn would be more impactful than a Godzilla.
Yeah, same. I would agree.
Okay. Godzilla means
I would
nothing
call
to
him to.
me.
I would call him to work in both of those events.
You're just looking for a reason to
It
call into
doesn't
work.
take much. It doesn't take much.
But Greg's gonna call into work tomorrow and be like, I got scared by the idea that there
Yeah.
might be a Godzilla.
Boss, I saw my shadow this morning.
One of
6
the-
more weeks of winter. I'm not coming in.
I thought it was one of the funniest things to me in a movie that's supposed to be very serious is Children of Men. That's the movie where people just stop having babies, right?
Right,
Like
yeah.
no one can get
They
pregnant
can't.
anymore.
Yeah.
And there's
There
this
wasn't like a consensus around the world. Just like, you know what? We're gonna pause.
there's this famous person who was like Baby Daniel, who was like the last
Mm-hmm.
person born. And so he's like super famous for being the youngest person alive. And he dies in a terrorist attack. And Gerard Butler the star of this movie? It's someone like Gerard Butler.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Is that
he's
Viggo Mortensen?
Oh, I thought it was Gerard
Anyway.
Butler.
and he's just like, I don't think I can come into work today. Just like baby David dying has me very shaken up.
Okay, so that's hilarious. So then, like, who's second in command then? Like, because that's why like the vice president and the
Oh, yeah,
president
who's
can't
the-
fly in the same plane.
Who's the new youngest person?
Who's the new baby Daniel?
yeah.
Like baby Jessica's just like yes. Now I'm the
Oh,
youngest.
I saw a documentary thing the other day.
It's
where the-
Clive Owen.
Clive
Owen.
We're all wrong.
Yeah. I saw like a catch-up thing that was like where baby Jessica is now.
Yeah, still in the well.
Because I think it was like the
She has a fear of cramped spaces.
25-year
It's
anniversary
30,
of it.
25 or 30, yeah.
30-year, but she's got like kids and a family. It's so strange.
All in a will.
So freaky. Just
That took
Baby Jessica 2, back to the well.
walked into a pipe and fell straight down.
kids, if you're listening now, this was before social media when like things really captivated us. This young child fell into a well.
What do you think the news cycle is on a baby Jessica
nowadays?
Doesn't even,
Has their own
fucking-
TikTok,
well,
like dedicated to like
Okay,
from
yeah.
inside the pipe. Like they just drop a phone down to her.
baby.
what's up, well fam?
Yeah.
Stuck in the
Hashtag well,
well.
baby.
I think it's a story for like a couple days. Baby Jessica was like a months-long tour.
And she was only in there for a couple days. But the media storm around it.
I don't think it
lasted-
was even a couple days.
I think it was like a day.
One whole day
Oh,
in a
we
well.
get this baby out of this well. Ugh.
But it like took
Terrifying.
hold of a nation
Yeah.
and then the world.
Yeah.
She's not the first baby to fall into a well.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't the last. But for some reason,
And this wasn't just a well, people. This was like a drainage pipe that was like perfectly baby-sized.
oh, she got folded.
She was, yeah.
She like
That is like terrible. Not be able to move. And you could just like, there's
as a baby.
a pipe in the ground that just has horrific baby cries coming from it.
Babies have
Night-
enough problems, all right?
Nightmare fuel.
Enough problems.
This is like right out of Silent Hill or something.
Well, it's right out of every like parent's worst dreams.
Oh my god, completely.
Like
That
I-
your
I
kid
can't
that
imagine.
your kid would be like,
missing.
yeah, 50 feet away from you
She-
in
Okay.
a lot of distress and you can't do anything.
All right,
She
hold on.
was-
Breaking news. We have baby
She was
Jessica news.
18 months old.
Yeah.
She was missing for 56 hours.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
hell to the no.
Here's the
Whoa.
worst part. She was 22 feet down an 8-inch pipe.
I'm sorry. What?
An 8-inch pipe.
8-inch pipe.
Oh God.
Horrific.
22 feet down.
Already not feeling good about just hearing that 2-sentence wrap up.
Jessica McClure, in 1987.
Yep. Fucking crazy.
The 80s were crazy. I'm not joking. This happens maybe
Pre-Vargas.
every 2 weeks.
87, so she's 38.
Yep. Nice.
Anyway,
What?
Godzilla Heist was pretty fun. I would recommend it to...
Is the 80s also when like the thing happened in Australia of like dingoes taking
eating
babies?
the baby. I think that was
And
the
like
80s.
that whole craze of like dingoes are taking babies.
A dingo ate my baby.
If you could be any 80s tragedy.
The Challenger.
Challenger's a big one. Challenger is huge.
Ronald Reagan's presidency.
Ronald Reagan just
Ronald
barred
Reagan getting
like
shot.
all over. Cocaine epidemic.
If you could be an 80s tragedy.
Weekend at Bernie's and
This is
Weekend
like
at
a
Bernie's
BuzzFeed
too.
quiz.
Yeah.
What 80s tragedy
Yeah.
are you?
Yeah.
Pick your favorite Italian dessert, and we'll tell you what 80s tragedy
Answer
you
these
are.
13 questions and find out what 80s tragedy you are. Who's the boss?
Is that it?
That's it. That's an episode. Wrap it up.
All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time. First Issue Club podcast is brought to you by Boulevard Brewing Company, the people responsible for our favorite drinks, the Space Camper Cosmic IPA family of beers. Our show is edited and produced by our hosts Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtag, and Andy Vargas. You can find us on social media at First Issue Club, and you can join the supporters who keep our humble podcast going on our Patreon at patreon.com/firstissueclub.